Hello and welcome to this video. This might be a different video than you used to. If you're here for the first time you won't know the difference, but usually I'm in my chair before my bookshelves. But today's video is an update on my reading challenge of 2021, and I decided to make a stack of all the physical books I read in the past 3 months and sit in front of it. So I'm actually sitting on the floor. Usually I'm sitting in a chair. I don't know if I mentioned this, but my name is Miriam and I love books. In 2021 I have this challenge where I try to read 365 books in a year, and the first 3 months of the year have flown by, and I decided it was time for an update. I think this will be a sort of chatty video. I remember that my second video on this channel was actually me explaining why and how I was going to read 365 books. When I saw that video again, I was like, I did not explain really well how I was going to do this. I think the why was done quite well, but the how was a bit off. But I had to sort of see how it would go, and in today's video I will tell you a bit more of how I do this. First, let me just tell you, how does it feel to read 365 books, and how does it feel that currently, when I'm filming this video, it's not the 1st of April, but it's like, today is Saturday the 27th of March. So far I've read 84 books. I checked, and last year on this time, that was like until the 31st of March, I had read 48 books, which was also quite a lot, but it's nothing compared to the 84, or when you see this video it might be 90, something like that. It's so strange to have read so many books, and as I was gathering all these books for this video, I remembered like all the things I read so far in this year, and it's amazing. And I know it's a bit ridiculous to read so many books. I don't think I will do another year if I manage to do it this year, but I really enjoy it. It's such a great way to get a smaller TBR. However, I add a lot of books, so you can't really say that, but still, it's really great to be able to read so many books and to remember so many stories, because these are not all the books I read. A few physical books I borrowed from a friend or are not in this house at the moment. And I read quite a lot of ebooks, I listened to some audiobooks, so this stack isn't everything, but some of the greatest books I read are definitely in this stack. And I'm talking of All the Lonely People, Anxious People, The Midnight Library, the Dutch version of the Fifth Avenue Story Society. For some reason I stacked them all together. I didn't know that. Actually, I wasn't even planning on pointing out favorites, but well, it's just that type of video where you just decide what you're doing when you're filming. The Red Ribbon, it's the Dutch version over here, but you can probably not read that. Let me see. Daughter of Rome, and a Dutch original, Ik hou je vast. Yeah, these were all great books. Oh, one of my favorite books of all time, Gegijzeld, Dutch original. Not such a great book, Sense and Sensibility, sorry. Great reread, Holding Up the Universe. Yeah, well, anyway, you get the idea. I love it that I can read so many great stories. But on the other hand, I mean, I've read like somewhere between 84 and 90 books so far. It is a strange thing to think that in 2015, I think that's like 6 years ago, that was the average amount of books I read. And I actually thought that was a lot. So little did I know that I would do that in like 3 months instead of like a whole year. To be honest, I do not have the feeling that I'm reading like a lot more than I used to, but that's also probably because the last few months of 2020 I read a lot of books, because I wanted to get into the habit of reading more and reading like Usually, I'm going to give an example that's easier. A couple of weeks ago I had to go to the doctor. Also today, when you see this video, I had to see a doctor today. However, what I used to do was check my phone like every 5 seconds, or go on Instagram for the entire time, and I had to wait quite a while because I had to go to different things. I had some blood tests done and some other things. I had to wait a lot of times, but I brought my e-reader, so I read books. I think I read almost an entire book during that time. Okay, it was a middle grade book, so it wasn't like a very difficult book, it wasn't a very long book, but still, I was able to put my phone down and read a book. To be honest, it doesn't work like that all the time, unfortunately. I'm still struggling with my smartphone addiction. So I'm working on that, and being able to read a lot of books definitely helps with that. So how do I manage this? I mean, maybe you're like, I want to read more, not like 365 books in a year, but maybe you want to read more. So I'm planning on doing a longer video on that in the future. I think actually in the near future, so stay tuned as well. But still, how I do it now, I read like 30 to 60 minutes every day before I go to bed. I read during breakfast, I read during lunch, not during dinner because my parents do not really like that. I think I do like a monthly readathon. I did not do a readathon in March, but I am doing one this Saturday, so that's like very close to March. I have reading nights. I think I said in that video that Thursday nights are my reading nights. I think like half of the time that works, the other half of the time doesn't. And there's one thing I did not foresee when I planned this challenge, but lately I'm low on energy, and actually one of the few things I can focus on and won't like tire me out entirely is reading. So yeah, I do not wish that on anyone, but still, it does help a bit, I think. But I'm mostly depending on like the reading, the readathons and the reading nights, and like making reading a priority. And I think what also helps with me is I got my monthly TBRs, and I try to pick big books and small books. Like there's a variety in them, so I'm not reading like all books that have like 500 pages, because reading 365 books with 500 pages is absolutely no. I don't think you can do that. Maybe you can, but I certainly can't. So I pick smaller books as well, and that's okay. One of my goals is to read 365 books. I got 23 other reading goals for this year, but they overlap. And I actually filmed a video where I told you about like my 5 main goals. I did not show you all the reading goals because I thought I would only make short videos. The videos I make are getting longer, but I haven't heard anyone complain. So maybe in the near future I will also do a video where I show you all my reading goals. But so far I managed to get 4 of them. I should probably have done more, but I mean, I got 24 goals and 3 months have passed, so I think every 3 months you should, every month you should get 2 goals, so I'm a bit behind on them, but that's also because a lot of the goals I won't able to tick them off before November, December, because like reading 365 books, you work towards that goal the entire year, but you will only get it at the end of the year, so that's sort of logical. I was able to tick off 4 reading goals. The first one being reading a book with a number in its title. I managed to get that one in January. I always have this goal, but I should probably this year I should have made it like reading 5 books with a number in its title, because there were a lot of books on my TBR that had a number in its title. And like, not just a number, but also if it's written out, a number. Like, I read Two Destinies, so that's like written 2WO, but still that counted as that one. So that was like my first goal, but I read a number of books with a number in its title, so maybe next year I can change that, I don't know. And the other 3 goals I actually managed to get in March, and the first one was reading 15 books that were published in 2020. I did not expect to meet that goal so soon. Maybe if you're following me a bit longer, you know that I did a massive book haul in January, and that were all books I bought in November, December of 2020, and there were a lot of books that were published in 2020 in that stack. So it turned out to be a lot easier than I thought it would be. The other goal I got was reading 15 books by 15 different Dutch authors. I did not expect to meet that goal so soon, because I'm usually reading a lot more books that were translated into Dutch or English books, but apparently I read a lot of Dutch originals by different authors, because I think the number of different Dutch authors I've read books by so far this year is now on like 17 or 18. And the last goal I met was reading a biography. I read several books that were sort of considered in the biography genre, and I thought the book I read about Mark Rutte, which I told you about in my weekly wrap-up video Monday, was considered a biography. It's not a lot of his entire life, but still. But there were some things about his childhood in it, so I thought, this is a biography. I will probably read another biography or autobiography this year. I am sort of planning on reading A Promised Land, but it's such a big book, so maybe I will do that next year. I'll just see about that. To summarize everything, I am still enjoying this challenge, and I am doing great, and yeah, I think, and I love it. I absolutely did not expect that I would love it so much. There's has been like only one time in February where I thought this is a lot, but that was when I was like 7 books behind on my challenge, because I decided to read the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson, and those books had like 700 pages, 700 to 800 pages each, and that was maybe a bit too much. To be honest, the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan is also on my TBR. I got that note out from my April TBR, and it was like, nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm saving that one for next year, or maybe I will do that with maybe I'll do like how I do it with with some other series I'm reading, like only 1 book a month, because I've read like the first 4 or 5 books in the Wheel of Time series. So I might do that, but I'm not, well, you'll see about that in a future video if I'm going to do that. So like only one time I was like, this is going to be hard, and now I'm actually quite confident that I will be able to get to the 365 books. If you want to follow me on this journey, then consider subscribing to my channel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and tell me what was the best book you read in the past 3 months, so like in the first 3 months of 2021. Let me know in a comment, and maybe I will read that book too, if I have not read it yet. That was about it. I don't know, for some reason I forget that I'm supposed to say happy reading at the end of my video, so as always, happy reading.